Miranda Priestly is back, and this time, she did not come alone. 2 decades after The Devil Wears Prada redefined what it meant to be brilliant, ruthless, and impeccably dressed, the first official trailer for its long-awaited sequel dropped in early 2026 and instantly fractured the internet. Within hours, clips were circulating across every platform, fans were dissecting each frame, and the entertainment world was forced to reckon with a single, undeniable reality. Some characters are simply too powerful to stay retired. The original 2006 film, directed by David Frankel and based on Lauren Weisberger's best-selling novel, became something far larger than a fashion film. It became a cultural document, a sharp-edged examination of ambition, identity, and the cost of success that resonated with audiences far beyond the walls of any magazine office. It was quotable, endlessly rewatchable, and uncomfortably honest. Now, the sequel, titled The Devil Wears Prada 2, and based on Weisberger's follow-up novel Revenge Wears Prada, The Devil Returns, arrives with an equally charged premise and a cast that has only grown more formidable. Meryl Streep returns as Miranda Priestly, the runway magazine editor whose withering silences and precise cruelties became the stuff of Hollywood legend. But the Miranda of 2026 is not the omnipotent figure of the first film. She is navigating the painful decline of print media. A world that once orbited entirely around her is now pulling away, shaped by digital forces she cannot fully command. That vulnerability, subtle as it may be in the trailer, is what gives the sequel its most interesting dramatic texture. Standing across from her, with a confidence that could only have been earned through years of surviving Miranda herself, is Emily Charlton. Emily Blunt reprises the role of Miranda's former assistant, neurotic, sharp-tongued, and perpetually on the edge of collapse in the first film. But Emily Charlton, circa 2026, is an entirely different creature. She is now a senior executive at a luxury fashion brand, and, crucially, she controls the advertising revenue that Runway desperately needs to survive. For the first time in their shared history, it is Miranda who needs something from Emily, and the trailer makes clear that Emily has no intention of making that easy. In a joint interview with Vogue published ahead of the trailer's release, all 4 leads offered reflections that were as revealing as anything in the footage itself. Meryl Streep described returning to Miranda as reaching into a closet and finding something you had not worn in years, uncertain whether it would still fit, and finding that it did. Perfectly. Emily Blunt was more unsettling in her honesty, saying that slipping back into Emily Charlton's mindset came far too naturally for someone she had once described as genuinely unhinged. Anne Hathaway, who returns as Andy Sachs, delivered perhaps the most striking account of all. She described watching Meryl Streep walk ahead of her down a hallway on set, an image so familiar it felt almost hallucinatory, as if she were simultaneously 22 years old again and completely present in the moment. For audiences who grew up watching Andy navigate the chaos of Runway, that sensation is likely to be universal. Andy's role in the sequel sees her return to the magazine as a content editor, a position layered with irony given how desperately she once tried to escape the place. The trailer offers a glimpse of Miranda appearing not to recognize her, while Emily wastes no time reverting to form with a cutting remark that suggests some things never change. Stanley Tucci, returning as Nigel, offered the quietest reflection of the 4. He noted simply that Nigel had never truly left him, that coming back to the role felt less like a performance and more like opening a door that had been shut but never locked. The film has also brought in significant new talent. Kenneth Branagh joins the cast as Miranda's husband, a character who existed in Weisberger's novel but was absent from the original film. Simone Ashley, Justin Theroux, Lucy Liu, and B.J. Novak round out the expanded ensemble, while screenwriter Aline Brosh McKenna returns alongside director David Frankel to preserve the tonal precision that made the first film so distinctive. The announcement of the sequel's development unfolded with a flair that felt entirely appropriate. At the 2024 SAG Awards ceremony in Los Angeles, Anne Hathaway appeared on the red carpet wearing the cerulean blue dress, the exact shade made famous in one of the original film's most iconic scenes. No words were necessary. The reference was unmistakable and deliberate. By July of that year, Variety confirmed that Disney was officially developing the project. Production began in 2025, with the finished film now set for a theatrical release on the 1st of May 2026, with some outlets citing April 30 as the opening date in select markets. What the trailer ultimately sells beyond the clothes, beyond the razor-sharp wit, beyond the sheer spectacle of watching two of the most compelling actresses of their generation face each other as genuine equals for the very first time, is something far more unsettling than fashion. It is a question about power, not the kind of power that announces itself with a cold stare or a whispered dismissal, but the kind that quietly erodes, season by season, until the person who once wielded it looks up one morning and realizes the room has rearranged itself around someone else entirely. What happens to people who built their entire identity around dominance when the world shifts beneath them? What does it feel like to be the one who finally holds the leverage to sit across the table from the woman who once made you feel invisible and know, with absolute certainty, that this time she needs you more than you need her? These are not small questions. They are the kind that follow people out of movie theaters and into their own lives, into their own offices, into every relationship where power was never evenly distributed. That is a story worth watching. If the trailer already has you reaching for your cerulean blue, let us know in the comments. Are you ready for Miranda Priestly's return? Or are you team Emily Charlton this time around? Drop your thoughts below, hit like if you are counting down the days to May 1, and subscribe so you do not miss our full breakdown when the film hits theaters.